So, hey guys, and today I'm gonna make a little bit of a documentary based on Code Genesis and his overall downfall. There's a couple things I need to say before I get the video started. Number one, I could not even secure an interview with Code Genesis, despite the fact I even tried. He even agreed to it, and he even said he's gonna do it with face cam and showed that he's not a pussy. But to be honest though, it's quite hypocritical because he banned me right after he asked me what I wanted from it, that was simply an interview with him just this afternoon, which he of course fucking declined like the cunt that he is. On top of this, right, he's also still trying to act tough, and even his autistic ass Discord users are of course praying up to him like as if he's the next god. I praise him, he's the definition of a lolcow, but this is where we perfectly start the video out. What is a lolcow? A lolcow is a personal group of people laughed at for the actions that they take, despite not trying to be funny. They may try to take themselves seriously, but are often milked of for laughs, with or without their knowledge. But however, Code Genesis perfectly fits this description as he's a person basically getting laughed at for the action that they take, despite trying not to be funny, like his comments that he makes on his stories and basically what he says about other Evangelion accounts. They may try to take this so seriously, like what he does, clearly shown in both his Discord and his overall presence on Instagram and his stories included, but often milk for laughs with or without their knowledge. I think he knows that he's actually being laughed at because he's simply not taken as seriously as he should. He's the definition of a lolcow. But we must cover over who the hell is Code Genesis. Code Genesis, or Code Genas, but rather Genesis, is basically an Evangelion community account. Not a community account, a creator account made by a person who's made by a teenager who vapes, who has a fat black girlfriend who also vapes. Why? Because he done a Instagram live stream before, and I think it was before everything that happened right now. So if you want to see how tough he is, looking for you, I don't have the Instagram live feed, but I know for a fact, right, that he's still a teenager, an edgy teenager that pretty much dates a big fat girlfriend who pretty much vapes also. So we could also blame his stupidity and his autistic dumbass on basically the people around him, because the people around him are equally or pretty much not as healthy as he would be, especially around the mental side. But let's get back to actual Code Genesis itself. Basically, Code Genesis, yes, is an Evangelion creator account. Not only of making Evangelion content, but also making other content like Code Genesis, which is another anime, which he of course often enjoys. But you may be asking, when the hell did this whole thing blow up and how the hell did he become so hated right now? Well, we have to focus all the way back around August 24th when he made his first ever post, pretty much story about this whole situation, where basically he targets a certain amount of Evangelion accounts. Trust me, I can't really get his stories up because stories last for about 24 hours and then after that they're just removed permanently. That's what makes him so whatever tough, because we don't have any evidence to back up our side just for him just to be rude. But quite hypocritically, I applied to all. Quite ironically, I have replied to all of his stories that relate to this. So basically, I have kind of like a timeline that I could go based off of. So we start off with August 24th when he made his first post saying that a certain amount of Evangelion accounts would copy up his posts. Basically, there was a bunch of theories going around of why the fuck he just started this, because honestly, we still don't have ideas why the hell he had to started it. It could be because people will copy up his content and then paste it on their account and say that it's theirs, which is quite understandable. But you could just like made a note of it, just said, "Oh right, these certain amount of people are basically posting up my content, and if you could just tell them to at the creator or something," which would be not disrespectful, but pretty much the best way to go around it. But instead, Code Genesis decided to not only target this particular account, but particular Evangelion accounts, but also targeting the whole fandom as a whole, thinking that he has some sort of stranglehold above it, which is quite stupid, really, because this just flipped over his reputation from being a chill anime edit type guy who pretty much vapes to pretty much the definition of a wannabe gangster who thinks e-gangstering is better, a lot more tougher than being a gangster in public. Trust me, being a gangster in public actually shows that you have balls. Being an e-gangster is doing nothing but making you laughed at. What a fucking moron. But basically what I said was, this is the definite way to kill your account since you've been so reckless about the whole situation. Not only that, but this situation was started by you and will end by you when you leave Instagram forever. What I actually meant by this is that basically the Evangelion fandom will actually backlash him so much to the point that he's gonna leave. Because similar Evangelion account actually did a similar thing and pretty much was forced to get off the internet because the harassment got too much. While back a similar account did the same thing and left. You have to stop it before you fuck up and leave forever. I thought he was gonna apply to it, but mostly he just doesn't apply to his followers or aka his attackers, which just shows that he's not only a hypocrite but also doesn't know how to really defend himself. On top of this, my communication towards him has also been proven just to show that he's not really that tough in reality, and they say he's just some sort of rage baiting lolcow that is just made just so that he can fuck up the whole Evangelion fandom, especially on the Instagram side, which where most, if not basically where the most popular Evangelion fandom pages mostly post. I even know some of them on Instagram also. So you may be asking, am I qualified just to say this? Me being the Evangelion fandom, I'm actually quite qualified since I'm friends with the Evangelion Bridge, mostly Way, and mostly everyone else in the Evangelion fandom. So I'm most trustworthy just to apply to some of these. And then after that, right, he just got on a downhill. Where after August 24th, he just kept on saying a bunch of shit. Where on August 25th and 26th, he said some more shit. Where I said on 26th, or maybe that your revolution has led to many people being unwarranted harassed by enjoying the Evangelion fandom. This is what I still believe to this day. Because basically, a lot of people have been unwarrantedly harassed and pretty much subsequently doxxed, potentially. I don't know by Code Genesis's followers. Because simply they believe what Code Genesis says, even though it's false. Because simply he can't prove the evidence, he can't even do a fucking interview, he can't even show the evidence in his Discord. It's pretty much the definition of talking to a massive hypocrite because he can't really back up everything and anything that he says. To the point that he pretty much just in his groups even he even says like that he cannot even back up that he even says like that he said sorry to these accounts when despite the fact he didn't even DM a single fucking account, and then right after he said right that they been rude to him even though he can't back up the evidence. It feels as if this guy could just post whatever the fuck he wants and it just let it publish and hope to God people could just swallow it back up and just listen to what he says, which you shouldn't really do to begin with, because listen to some random account say that these particular accounts are being rude to them without evidence. It shows, and you not only believe that and help harass them, you're not only the most dumbest piece of shit guy I ever know, but you're not really that smart in reality because simply you believe anything and everything that may happen on the internet. So while this carried on, people gave him the reputation of pretty much not only being the rudest content creator account to ever live, but also to be the biggest edgy teenager known to man and pretty much a lolcow. On top of this, right, he's also known to pretty much doing Oscar, which what I mean by that is having sex with Oscar, which is pretty much a 14-year-old, which actually eventually started to spread throughout the whole Evangelion fandom. So pretty much what Code Genesis did was quite simply fuck up his own reputation and then causes more rumors just to pass around. And you may go like, why the hell would he be called that? Because he has a bunch, I mean by a bunch of Evangelion edits, but there's a lot more Masato and a lot more Oscar than compared to pretty much any other edit from any other character, especially in their sexual poses and their sexual looks, let's just say. And Even worse, Oscar is underage, so pretty much this is just illegal, I think, in my opinion. So pretty much publishing this thing and then publishing it as often as you can not only shows that you're potentially creepy, but also shows that you could be a pedophile if you're interested in underage girls. But to be honest, I can't really say anything since the director of the end of Evangelion decided to just put a nude girl twice, two nude underage women inside of the actual movie. Even though it was quite good, the actual movie itself, I don't know why the fuck they had to in fact add Oscar who's nude for some reason. It felt not even kind of wrong. But yeah, what he published is that I tried to apologize to my enemies, but they are rude, very horrible people. I do not forgive them anymore. Wow, such a tough comment with following right after a hit list. This hit list has been updated multiple times throughout the whole beef since August 24th. Basically having a bunch of people in and then taken out, but now this is the most updated one, where it contains Angry German Girl in a robot who's an Evangelion account, Evangelion Abridged, which is basically a bridge, Evangelion Abridged account for the Evangelion Abridged Discord, where the community can come together and do their own voice acting and potentially be picked and chosen just to do a bridge voice active for the Discord. K Cricket, which I do not know, and Shinji Fan, who's also another account for the Evangelion fandom. And you may notice that the top two are really popular Evangelion fandom accounts, especially with Shinji Fan 445. You may be wondering why the hell you actually picked these accounts. I just spread false rumors about it. It's quite simple, really, because Code Genesis, what he wants to do is actually, in fact, get rid of pretty much every single competition that he has in the Evangelion fandom, especially on Instagram, just so that he can easily dominate. It's actually the kind of thing that I would actually do if I want to become the dominating force, but at the same time want to become the biggest dick alive. Because think about it, if Code Genesis could get rid of Angry German Girl and the Robot and Evangelion and British with Stingy Fan 445 and K Cricket, he could become pretty much one of, if not the most dominant Evangelion fandom Instagram account on the platform. And then eventually, right, he can start spread to more accounts, and then eventually soon just spread to people who don't even like him, to be honest. And it even says on the bottom, followers of Code Genesis, strike these accounts down. We must fight them. Never give up. They are evil and must be discarded. Wow. Coming from the Lord and Savior Code Genesis. Literally thinking that he's fucking Jesus. Like, fucking out. Like, does he? I wonder what his Bible's gonna say. Please eliminate these hit lists. It's pretty much gonna be like um, pretty much Code Genesis's Bible is gonna consist of like a bunch of names. It's got like these are the hit lists. Kill them. So I have a quick update just to add to the end of the video. You have actually more proof about his racism, his anti-Semiticness, and mostly his overall hatred towards the Jews. And basically we have the proof via his group chat that he's been posted to, where we have a series of screenshots, where it mostly starts around Tuesday, where he says right he's sorry and that he should quit, basically acting like Shinji. Then after that, right, he says I was wrongful, and then he says he's gonna take back everything despite the fact, right, that everyone on the hit list hasn't really been in contact with them. Probably because I'm using Evangelion Bridge as a great example because I know the owner behind that, and basically a lot of that right that he doesn't really put any attention on pretty much any of the beef whatsoever apart from what normally happens behind in his own Discord server. And basically right, after that right he's saying that all these accounts are run by Jews, and then he has confirmation which is false because a lot of that Evangelion Abridged pretty much has two owners, and both of them are not Jewish. And that right after that saying that Ray Fanta is cool, so he basically took them off. And then after that right saying that all the other accounts would not accept my apology. So basically said that everything's opposed, like as if it's a military general from fucking Africa. And then after right, you just to say like in the most Oscar language way, say that my hate just hate me because I'm too big to fail. They can't bring down a real winner. which is quite overconfident of himself, despite the fact that he doesn't even know what the hell he actually just done. That is pretty much not only ruined his reputation, but also showed that he's not only very anti-Semitic and hating Jews, but pretty much also being very racist and literally saying that all his enemies are pretty much Jews. Kind of reminds me of an Australian painter who pretty much would do the same thing. After that, he posts about his Discord, and they say, right, the Jews are the society and the evangelical community, which is false because evangelical community was started by Japanese people who are not Jewish whatsoever, and most people in the evangelical fandom are not Jewish. And I don't see anything wrong with a Jewish person like Evangelion, and basically he's just going insane at this point. Where saying right, and after that, right, he posts the hit list again, saying that get all these pages, especially the bridge one, and it just shows that he's mostly going insane. And then bridge one for some reason, I don't know why, and they say right, all the people in my channel are mostly Jewish. The Wood Warriors on Discord, which is quite hypocritical since once I tried to talk to him, he basically banned me, and he's gonna say right, I'm Jewish, even though I'm Sikh, by the way. So what the hell? So basically, my anything you could just say is total bullshit. And they said that there's some good ones left in my channel, but most of them are Jewish. And after that, he said Jews have overtaken my channel, and it's only a matter of time before they get me. And they said that the Jews are making me gain less followers and taking away my bank account, which is false. And he said like if I say I want to crack Viva Oscar, that would be bad or good. Literally the definition of pedophilia. So and after that, he says again, Jews of our society, Evangelion, and then and he says right, so the hit list again, saying that you get these pages, especially the bridge one for some reason, and they said right, I'm going DEFCON 1 on all Jews tomorrow, which is quite ironic because there was been a mass shooting at the local at the synagogue in the UK. That makes him pretty much a prime suspect if this is actually getting reported to the UK police. And then basically he said after that he says he apologized for what he said yesterday, that he's gonna go back about going after accounts, and they say back to being normal, and say that he has no enemies, and say that after that right, he still hates the Jews, and then after that he says my therapist told me to quit social media, so that this is goodbye for now, and then after that right, he said that he still uses his phone even in the mental asylum. So I don't know what the fuck he's actually doing with his mind, but I know the fact that he's batshit insane. Pretty much don't really follow him or give him any attention whatsoever. He's basically a lolcow and an attention seeker that pretty much seeks out any attention that he could get, and basically right, just make sure he gets the least attention as he can. The least attention you can get, the more likely he stays off the internet for longer, and the more sane he actually becomes. Because trust me, he's an insane motherfucker that pretty much goes after anyone and calls everyone a fucking Jew while pretty much living in a pretty much unhealthy way, especially with his vaping and his addiction. So pretty much that's everything I'm going to say. Have a good day.